Okay, so we've all been there, right? You know you should be doing something productive, something hard, but you just can't bring yourself to start. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into the science behind that feeling and, more importantly, learn a powerful way to finally get over it.
I mean, really think about it. You can fall into a YouTube rabbit hole for hours or binge watch an entire season of a show without even blinking. But the mere thought of studying for just 30 minutes, suddenly it feels like the hardest thing in the world. So what's the deal with that? Yeah, the difference is just crazy, right? Logically, we all know that the 30 minutes of studying is way better for us in the long run. But our brains? They are wired to take the easy path. And look, this isn't some kind of personal failing. It's not about being lazy. It's a biological paradox that we are about to solve.
So what's the secret sauce? What separates the people who just do the hard stuff from those who don't? It's not just about having more willpower. The real answer is deep inside your brain, and it has to do with a single tiny chemical that's running the whole show.
It all boils down to one super powerful chemical that's basically deciding for you what you're going to crave and what you're going to ignore. You can think of it as the engine of your ambition.
All right, let's talk about the star of the show, dopamine. Now, you've probably heard of it, but maybe not in the way that actually matters for getting things done.
Okay, this is probably the biggest misconception out there, so we got to clear this up. Dopamine is not the pleasure molecule, it's the desire molecule. It's not the, yay, I did it feeling. It's the, I gotta do it feeling. It's that intense motivation that pushes you to get up and go get something.
And if you want to see just how ridiculously powerful this stuff is, you've got to hear about these rat experiments. Scientists could stimulate the dopamine system in rats, and these rats would just press a lever for hours on end. They'd ignore food, they'd ignore sleep, they'd literally just keep pressing until they collapsed. But when they blocked the dopamine, the rats became so lazy, they basically lost the will to live. They wouldn't even get up to eat or drink. The desire was completely gone.
Okay, so this isn't just some weird story about rats. This is happening inside your head right now. Your brain is constantly running these little calculations, prioritizing what you do based on one simple question. How much dopamine am I going to get from this?
So when your brain looks at its to-do list, it's not thinking logically. It's thinking, where's the biggest dopamine hit? It sees playing video games and expects a massive reward. Boom, instant motivation. Then it sees studying and expects almost nothing. So, of course, your motivation follows the dopamine.
Okay, so to understand the next part, we need a quick biology lesson. Your body is obsessed with balance. It's a process called homeostasis. You know, if you get too hot, you sweat to cool down. If you get too cold, you shiver to warm up. Your body is always trying to get back to its normal, balanced state.
Well, guess what? Your brain does the exact same thing with dopamine. If you're constantly flooding it with these huge spikes of stimulation from things like social media or video games, it tries to bring things back to baseline. And it does that by building up a tolerance.
And this, my friends, is where the trap is sprung. All those super high dopamine activities, they raise your baseline. They create a new normal for your brain that's way up here. And what happens then? Well, all those low dopamine things, like reading a book or going for a walk, they just can't compete anymore. They feel incredibly painfully boring.
So are we just doomed? Is there a way out of this trap? Absolutely. And the solution is something called a dopamine detox. It's all about resetting that baseline so that the boring, productive stuff actually starts to feel good again.
Let me paint you a picture. If you're used to eating gourmet meals every single night, a simple bowl of plain rice sounds awful. But if you've been starving on a desert island for 3 days, that bowl of plain rice is going to taste like the best meal of your entire life. A dopamine detox works on the exact same principle. It starves your brain of all the junk food.
So, what does this actually look like in practice? For one full day, you're going to go hardcore. You cut out all the easy, high-stimulation stuff. That means no internet, no phone, no music, no junk food. You are intentionally embracing boredom. What can you do? Simple stuff. Go for a walk, meditate, maybe write your thoughts down on a piece of paper. The whole point here is pretty wild, actually. You are trying to let yourself get so incredibly, mind-numbingly bored that the idea of organizing your bookshelf or doing some work starts to sound fun. You're lowering your brain's stimulation baseline so those hard things feel engaging again.
Now, I get it. A full day of total boredom might sound like a lot. So if that's too much to bite off, there's a more moderate path. Just pick one day a week, say Sunday, and cut out your single biggest dopamine vice. Whether that's social media or video games, just giving your brain that one day to recover can make a huge difference.
Okay, a detox is an awesome way to hit the reset button. But what about next week and the week after that? For this to really stick, you need a long-term system. You need to actually rewire how your brain connects work and reward.
And here it is. This is the golden rule, the one thing you absolutely cannot forget. Work first, reward after. Always. If you scroll Instagram for an hour and then try to study, you've already shot your motivation. The hard stuff has to come before the easy reward.
This is how you turn that rule into a real-life system. You create a reward ratio for yourself. Maybe for every hour of tough, focused work you do, you earn 50 minutes of your favorite high dopamine activity. The catch? You save it all up for the end of the day. So an 8-hour productive day could earn you 2 hours of guilt-free video games at night. And you can totally adjust these numbers to fit your own goals.
So, to wrap it all up and make sure this system actually works for you, just remember these key points. 1. Always do the hard stuff first. 2. Track your productive time so you know what you've earned. 3. Only cash in on your reward at the end of the day. 4. Feel free to tweak the ratios. And finally, try not to use a reward that's really damaging to your health. That kind of defeats the purpose.
At the end of the day, we're all just dopamine-seeking creatures. That's not a bad thing. It's what drives us to do amazing things. The real power comes when you consciously decide where you're going to get that dopamine from.
So it all comes down to a choice, really. Are you going to keep getting your dopamine hits from passive consumption that doesn't really serve you, or are you going to rewire your brain to get that same incredible rush from the satisfaction of working on and achieving your biggest goals? The choice is all yours.